People are calling out the celebrities who don't deserve their fame, and it's eye-opening. Fame is a measure of success for a lot of people, which explains why many go to great lengths just so they could be considered famous. But for some, it feels like fame was handed over to them. It seems too easy and almost under-deserved. Then, we also have several examples of people who got famous for all the wrong reasons. But, in all honesty, people are starting to speak out against celebrities they don't believe deserve the limelight. Here are some of the most relevant examples of people who probably didn't rightfully earn their fame. Let's get into it. Number 9. James Charles. YouTube beauty guru and one of the biggest stars in the makeup industry, James Charles has been a consistent target of criticism. Ever since his career took off and he became the first cover boy, the kid is no stranger to scandal. Not only has he been accused of racism, transphobia, and ripping off his fans, but Toddy Westbrook even went as far as to deem him a predator. Charles has managed to build a small empire for himself through beauty tutorials, vlogs, makeup products, and branding, gaining over millions of dollars and a dedicated fan base along the way. Although the accusations over the years have cost him millions of subscribers and his reputation, his apology videos always seem to speak to so many at the same time. He has never really been canceled because tons of enthusiasts have his back regardless of anything, but in all honesty, many of the celebrities who have spoken up against him aren't all that great themselves. They've also had a problematic past, and their reasons for exposing almost always include eventual personal gains. Whether or not James Charles genuinely deserves his fame is up for debate, and ultimately, you're going to have to decide for yourself if you really want to associate yourself with him and his channel. Number 8. Elon Musk. This one is going to be controversial for many. According to a user on Reddit, the face behind the American electric vehicle company Tesla and one of the richest men on earth, Elon Musk, is essentially famous because of his money, and also because he likes to talk shit on social media. He seems to have a pretty dedicated fan base though, because many come to his defense at the slightest doubt of his greatness. People also believe he's an innovative, visionary entrepreneur who we need more than he needs us. That's a bit hard to debate when the guy is a charismatic co-founder of PayPal, as well as the founder of SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company. But you have to keep in mind that most of the criticism he receives is aimed at his elitist comments regarding public transportation. Also, many believe Tesla and SpaceX are gross exaggerations and wishful thinking backed by great PR and propaganda. Either way, whether Musk really deserves the attention he gets or not is a complicated topic that warrants a nuanced discussion. Number 7. The Kardashians. Yeah, you probably expected to see this one on the list. Many people think that the Kardashians don't really have any genuine talent, and they aren't even sure what the family is famous for in the first place. I just hate the fact that they earn tons of money just for being them, says one Reddit user. But you have to admit, making money without doing anything is a pretty incredible skill in itself. The Kardashian family has been part of several scandals over the years, with people even claiming that they're unbelievably toxic and real-life bullies. Their primary criticism still comes from the fact that they've built a multi-million-dollar business out of nothing. Their journeys might be interesting to explore, but at the end of the day, do they really deserve their fame? Number 6. R. Kelly. What do you do when your favorite musical artist is arrested on several federal charges, including sex crimes, human trafficking, and child pornography? Well, for one, you stop listening to their music. And no, it doesn't matter how good they are at their art. Unfortunately though, R. Kelly's fan base doesn't get that. They've supported him throughout his allegations, even showing up to the singer's trial to show that they stand with him. But at the same time, a fair amount of critics have been wary of the musician, claiming that he doesn't deserve appreciation even as an artist after everything that has been exposed about it. Almost immediately after the verdict was read about R. Kelly, observers were asking questions, trying to determine whether his music would be removed from major streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music. But even if his music isn't officially taken away, the least we can do is a gesture of support for all of his victims is avoid listening to any of it ourselves. Number 5. Piers Morgan. Why is this guy still tolerated? According to one Reddit user, Piers Morgan is only famous despite being a gigantic prick because he's very good at telling a certain audience exactly what they want to hear. The audience is entirely of his choosing, by the way, and it doesn't even matter whether or not what he's saying is good or bad. After he targeted an ex-crew member on Twitter, Morgan has even been accused of bullying in an open letter from 1,200 UK TV workers. But his fan following, which is almost as annoying annoying as he is, doesn't seem to care and even finds humor in everything he says and does. The guy has a background in journalism and has also worked as a judge on Britain's Got Talent. Even though he's essentially famous for being an outspoken host on Good Morning Britain, does he really deserve the attention he consistently seems to get? Number 4. Harvey Weinstein. If Lana Del Rey can decide to retire a song just because it referenced a guy who is now accused of rape, sexual harassment, and other types of mistreatment, we have no excuses either. Film producer Harvey Weinstein has been from studio to courtroom in 40 years after around 13 women came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct. And amongst his numerous critics, the American singer-songwriter Lana Del Rey has been particularly important. She revealed that she had a Harvey Weinstein type of character in mind when she wrote her song Cola, with the original lyrics referring to a hypothetical Harvey, too. Following the wide-ranging sexual misconduct claims, though, the singer announced that she wouldn't be performing the song live again. Pretty impressive, you have to admit. Number 3. Chris Brown. It's almost gross how quickly this guy has been accepted back into mainstream music. Chris Brown has been accused of violence against women by several victims, with the most famous being Rihanna herself. Even though at one point he was seen as a wholesome R&B teen superstar with the potential to become the next Michael Jackson, his career seems to have gone south, with him now being perceived as the wicked pop culture villain whose music no one should be listening to. He received his first criminal offense, a battery charge for assaulting his then-girlfriend Rihanna in 2009, and since then, accusations and battery charges by tons of women have made up most of his public image. You would think a guy like that would have little to no music career, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Turns out, Brown has sold over 140 million records worldwide, making him one of the world's best-selling music artists. And it doesn't end there. He has also won several awards, including Grammy Awards, 15 BET Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, and 13 Soul Train Music Awards. Deserving or not, that's for you to decide. Number 2. Ted Bundy / serial killers in general. It's actually pretty weird how we've turned serial killers into objects of fascination, as if the heinous crimes they pull off deserve more attention than the victims, who more often than not get put on the back burner and eventually forgotten. You've all heard of Ted Bundy, but how many of his victims can you name at the top of your head? And it's one thing to talk about them, but some documentaries and TV shows really go as far as to almost idolize these killers and the way they think. Let's not even mention how disrespectful it might feel to the families of the victims. Number 1. Donald Trump. At the very top of this list is none other than the former US President Donald J. Trump. Again, this one might be controversial for some of you, but Trump's rise to fame and his eventual victory in the United States presidential election of 2016 is scrutinized by many. How did this guy end up in the White House? Was he ever really qualified for it? And most importantly, did he actually deserve the power he was entrusted with? Before competing in the elections, Trump popped up in the news every now and then for one thing or another, although none of it was really newsworthy. He never did anything that seemed to matter. All he was essentially doing was using daddy's money and managing his real estate affairs. The affairs that ended up in court for not renting to African Americans, by the way. Considering that he did end up winning the election that he first competed in, he obviously has the support of millions of Americans. But whether or not he deserved any of the success or international fame that he ended up getting is much more complex discussion. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to our channel. And if you're feeling extra nice, also turn on that notifications bell. This way, you'll be updated whenever we upload more amazing content like this. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.